And besides, if she really was just a village girl, she probably hadn't made a very big impression on him, so it would be nearly impossible for him to confirm her identity. What should we do? For now, we should probably take her into custody and do a thorough investigation. If she is carrying an item like this horn when she could have cleverly hidden it, well, I don't necessarily think she is a spy or terrorist, but we don't have enough information to make a judgment call here. Henry darted her eyes around in a panic. She looked just like a normal village girl. If she was acting, it was entirely too convincing. Suddenly, the soldiers watching events unfold shouted in surprise. A new voice sounded. We'd like to enter the city already, what are you doing? When the soldier turned around, he saw a figure in raven black armor standing there. Ah! Both the soldier and the caster yelped in surprise. Everyone in Rantel knew the man wearing that armor. The adamantite plate around his neck proved there was no mistake. He was a living legend. Nothing was impossible for this strongest warrior. It was Momon of Raven Black. If it isn't Sir Momon, do excuse us. What in the world are you, huh? That girl, yes. There was a suspicious girl here. It took some time to investigate her. We apologize for inconveniencing you, Henry. That's right. Henry Emmott, right? Everything froze. Why did this legendary adventurer know this village girl's name? Who might you be? Oh, wait. You came that one time with Enfira, right? I don't remember speaking to you, but perhaps you heard my name from NFI. Momon put his hand to his mouth and seemed to be pondering something. After that, he waved over the caster. The two of them left the guardhouse. The soldier wanted to go too, but he couldn't leave Henry alone. Eventually, the caster, who had regained composure, returned on his own. Let her go. The adamantite adventurer Momon will vouch for her. I don't think keeping her here any longer will do us any good. That is a natural conclusion, but are you sure it's all right? You would doubt the word of that great man? No, not at all. Understood. I'll let her in immediately. Henry Emmott of Khan, you have permission to enter Rantel. You may go. Okay, thank you. Henry bobbed her head and left. Watching her go, the soldier asked the caster and Sir Momon. He went on ahead. So what is the relationship between the great hero and that villager? How should I know? All he said to me was what I told you, we should release her, and that he would vouch for her. Then I have another question. That Emmott girl, do you really think she is just a villager? Definitely not. She can be. Otherwise, why would a great hero like him step in to help her? And it can be a coincidence that she has such a powerful item. Do you think she could be connected to the theocracy? She said ain't something right. If she has friends in the theocracy, maybe we should report her to the higher-ups. Honestly, I don't know. Reporting someone Sir Momon vouched for to your superiors as dangerous is probably following protocol, but might it offend Sir Momon? The soldier grimaced. Anytime soldiers got together, they discussed the feats he performed at the Rantel public cemetery. No one could remain unmoved by the heroic tale of how he broke through an undead mob thousands, or perhaps tens of thousands strong. His awe-inspiring appearance and heroic bearing were clearly visible even from afar. The dominant way he had his immensely powerful magical beast prostrate itself so he could mount it drove the soldiers wild. Like women who become infatuated with a strong man, many men had fallen for the great hero Momon. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that most of the soldiers, fellow warriors, were his fans. This soldier was one of them. He deeply admired Momon, to the point where if Momon were to pat him on the back, he'd tell anyone who would listen. He didn't want to invite the displeasure of someone he looked up to so much. Yes, if Momon vouches for her, then she is probably fine. I agree. We wouldn't want to cause disadvantage to a personal acquaintance of Sir Momon S. If you can beat them, join them. A big tree is better for shelter. I don't want any trouble. Anyhow, I'll be on standby. Okay, I'll get back to work too. As Henry drove her wagon through the gate of Rantel, she cocked her head, wondering what had happened. It seemed like her salvation had come in the form of the adventurer in the raven black armor. If she remembered correctly, he had come to the village once with Enfira to gather herbs. Normally, she would want to meet him and express her thanks right away. But unfortunately, when she passed through the gate and looked around, he was nowhere to be found. Hopefully, he'll understand if I thank him the next time I see him. She considered taking a little time and searching the area immediately, but there was a reason she had to veto that idea. It was a worry reigning over her mind. She gripped the item through her shirt. If she didn't directly confirm its continued existence, she couldn't relax the goblin horn. Is it worth several thousand gold? That can be true, right? Tell me that's a lie. She broke out in a cold sweat. He had given it to her so casually she didn't think it was worth much at all. Enfira said it was valuable, but this was far beyond what she had imagined. Wait, did I use an item worth a fortune? Is that okay? If he asked for it back, what would I do? How many pots of herbs would that take? I guess I'd just have to pick herbs my entire life. And she still had the item worth several thousand gold in her hand. Is Sir Gaun in a position where he can just freely hand out such expensive items? Or did he not know how much it was worth? No, he would definitely know. But what if, on the off chance he didn't? Her stomach started to hurt. She glanced at her surroundings. There were only a few people in the area, but it still felt like many times the number of people in Khan. She had the horrible thought that someone might come after her for the horn. I shouldn't have brought this. There is lots of crime in the city, right? What will I do if it gets stolen? Wait, if someone blows it and the goblins that get summoned go on a rampage, would I be the criminal responsible? Just as she had doubled the amount of cold sweat she was producing, someone sat on the box seat next to her. They moved as if gravity didn't exist for them, definitely by the power of magic. Who? When she turned to face her company, she was overcome with surprise. It was a peerlessly beautiful woman with raven black hair. This was the one who had been with the adventurer in the raven black armor before. Her cold obsidian eyes were focused on Henry. Horsefly, Mr. Momon has something he'd like to ask you. You Ray, so pretty, that sort of flattery one. You are as pretty as Lupus Regina. Noticing the confusion in the woman's wavering eyes, Henry realized she had said something stupid and immediately regretted it. How would this lady know who Lupus Regina was? But she couldn't think of anyone else as beautiful as the adventurer before her eyes. What should I do? I can tell she is confused. Of course she is. I have to somehow. So, Lupus Regina is a really pretty lady who comes to my village. Thank you. Wah. Her gaze was still stony. There was nothing gentle about her tone. Her brow was even furrowed, but her gratitude was real. She sighed. I came because Mr. Momon has something he wants to ask you. Answer me. What are you doing here? It wasn't as if Henry was obliged to answer, but this was the partner of the person who had just helped her out of a difficult spot. If she wanted to know, Henry figured she should answer. Before that, can I say something? Mr. Momon helped me out just a short while ago. Please tell him thank you for me. I'll tell him so. Right, I am here to well, I have a lot of things to do, but one is to sell herbs. The woman gestured with her jaw for Henry to continue. Then I am going to the shrine to see if there are any people who want to move to my village. And I am also planning to inquire about something at the Adventurers Guild. Besides that, I need to stock up on a bunch of things we can get in the village, particularly weapons. That's about it. I see. I understand what you've said and will tell Mr. Momon. With an airy movement, as if she had been freed from gravity's pull, the woman jumped off the wagon. She walked away without giving Henry any further attention. A cutting, icy wind, that was Henry's impression of her. What an amazing lady, like Brita's power times 10. She wasn't the sort of woman one could meet in the village. Is she an adventurer because of her personality, or did becoming an adventurer shape her personality? Henry started to feel nervous about going to the guild. Oh shoot, she hadn't thought of it until after the woman was gone, but she must also be a strong adventurer. After all, she was partnered with the man who tamed the wise king of the forest. It was possible she knew something about the situation in the woods. I should have asked her if she knew anything about the giant of the east, the magical serpent of the west, or the structure of ruin. I am so stupid. Why didn't I think of it? Henry trundled along the road on her wagon, chiding herself for not being more on top of things, and passed through the next gate. Rantel was broadly split into 3 areas. The middle section was for the people who lived there, the normal city area. The Adventurers Guild was also located there. Usually, it would be safer to do her business with the Apothecaries Guild, but that required a lot of annoying formalities. So, she decided to head for the Adventurers Guild, who would do the negotiations for her. At first, she thought she could rely on her connection with Lizzie, but on second thought, although they were close, she realized using the name of her friend's grandmother was pretty shameless. Enfira was the one who had respected her intentions and suggested going to the Adventurers Guild. If he had come, they could have bought and sold herbs without relying on the guild, no problem. But Henri was only a village girl. She was nervous about dealing with the savvy Apothecaries Guild members. That's why she had decided to have the Adventurers Guild act as the middleman, even if she had to pay a fee. She proceeded through the city according to the directions Brita and Enfira had given her. The goblins had traveled with her up until the outskirts of the village. Now they were waiting outside for her to be done with her errands. She realized she was alone for the first time since leaving the village. She clenched the horse's reins. The tension made her shoulders stiff and sore. She was about to stretch her neck when she caught sight of the building her friends had described. "I made it," she quietly exclaimed. There was no chance of her getting lost now. After leaving her wagon with the doorman, she went inside. Warriors clad in plate armor, hunters with bows and arrows, priests and wizards, plus a few people who generally looked like casters, were all coming and going. They exchanged information about monsters in the area. They seriously examined the sheets of parchment stuck on the board, or they confirmed the quality of items they purchased with an ease that came only with practice. It was a world full of vigilant eyes, tense heat, and an intense clamor, the world of adventurers. Henriette's jaw dropped at this scene she would never be able to see in her village, and she hurriedly closed it. She was a country bumpkin. She wasn't afraid to be amazed by the atmosphere in the city. But she was embarrassed, as a girl of marrying age, to be seen with her mouth hanging wide open. She walked straight ahead, careful not to move unnaturally. She didn't want to get laughed at. She did wonder if it was all right for a village girl to walk among the brave adventurers. She felt out of place. When she reached the counter, she was met with a friendly smile. "Welcome. Yes, here I am." Henri met the receptionist lady's eyes. They both grinned awkwardly in spite of themselves. Henri felt the tension go out of her shoulders, but perhaps the first time since she had entered Rantel. "What can the Adventurers Guild do for you today?" "Well, first, I was hoping you could sell some herbs for me." "Very well. And where are the herbs right now?" When Henri explained that the herbs were on her wagon outside, the receptionist lady spoke to the woman next to her. "The appraiser will go there now. So do you mind waiting inside the building for a short while?" "That's fine. There's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. I don't have an immediate request, but I might make one in the future." She gave an outline of the situation to the smiling receptionist. Her smile gradually morphed into a more serious expression. "I see. I am a receptionist, so I don't determine request difficulty levels. But if it's about the magical serpent of the west, or the wise king of the forest, the adamantite rank adventurer Sir Momon is probably the only one who can take the job. In which case, it would cost quite a lot." Henri felt the receptionist's attitude shift. It was as if she had lost motivation, thinking it was a pain to explain since they couldn't afford it. Through living with the goblins, Henri had gotten better at reading people's emotions. This growth could be attributed to her efforts to understand the goblins. To most humans, they seemed like only hideous creatures with borderline unintelligible expressions. "She probably thinks we don't have that kind of money in the village. It seemed like the first thing she looked at was my clothes, so I guess that's what she would think. And she is wearing nice things." Henri mentally compared her clothes with the receptionist's and acknowledged that she lost by a landslide, but wearing clothes like that to do village work would be a waste. Plus, they would get in the way. As a woman, Henri judged this match a draw. "I heard the city offered money, a subsidy." "It does, but the subsidy is only for a portion of the cost. Rest you must cover. Adamantite rank adventurers are very expensive, so even after deducting the subsidy, you would owe a large sum. Of course, you can request a lower price, but we don't encourage it. Jobs paying less than the going rate are lower priority, so you would have to be prepared for the possibility that it will be difficult finding someone." The receptionist probably spoke so fluently because she had perfectly memorized these rules. She likely already thought Henri was just a bother. That's only natural. A customer who can pay is no customer at all. The receptionist's words matched exactly what Enfira had told her. That's why she didn't feel too down. It was simply reality that there weren't many people who would lend a hand to the weak for little to no reward. That's exactly why Sir Aints Ulgaun is our savior. He even gave this treasure to a village girl as if it was nothing. If she said she would pay with the horn, What attitude would the receptionist take? She imagined how gratifying it would be, but she did nothing of the sort. The great caster had given her this item out of kindness. He told her to protect herself. It wasn't something she could sell just because it would be good for the village. She couldn't let his benevolence be in vain, so Henry nodded. I understand. Please at least tell me how much. I'll take the information home and consult with the rest of the village. Oh, then please do that. If you come when the broker's appraisal is done, I'll have the fee all calculated for you. Henry thanked the receptionist. She moved away from the counter. She sat on a sofa across the lobby. She thought she would kill time until the broker assessment was done by staring absent-mindedly at the ceiling. I am tired. Ever since she had passed through the gates, it had been a parade of new experiences. No, nothing had been this bewildering since she lost her parents in the attack. Everything was always the same. I thought that way of life would go on forever. Remembering what she had lost, she sighed quietly. Remembering what she had gained, the goblins, her old friend, she shook her head back and forth. I wish they would hurry up. When she was moving, she didn't have time to get depressed. She could empty her head and work hard. Miss Emmott, your assessment is done. At the call of the person who must have been in charge of sales, Henry stood and walked over. Thank you. The amount is at that moment, she heard someone's quick steps. No, someone running about as fast as they could coming toward her. Henry turned her head to find the receptionist lady standing there, panting. Miss No, Lady Henry Emmott of Khan, might I ask you for a little more detail about what we were discussing earlier? It was definitely the same receptionist from before, but she was desperate. Her eyes were bloodshot. Excuse me, I am about to give her the results of her assessment. I am talking right now. All I need is a minute, so you can shut up. The broker's face twitched. If you like, we could talk in the sitting room over a drink. Her lips were pleasantly curled, but her eyes held no mirth at all. She was bizarrely desperate. What did she sense from Henry's hesitation? With wet eyes, she entwined her fingers as if to pray. Please, I want to hear what you have to say. I am screwed unless you tell me. Henry had no idea what this frantic plea was about, but she would have felt bad to reject her. When she glanced back, the broker seemed to understand what she was thinking and nodded. I see. Then will you take me there? That moment, the receptionist's body visibly relaxed. Thank you so much. Right this way, follow me. Bathed in curious stares, Henry followed. The receptionist had a vise-like grip on her right hand. She was definitely not letting her get away. Maybe I was too hasty. Though seized by mild anxiety, she entered the sitting room. She looked around silently. The empty room had an extremely refined interior. It was furnished so magnificently she hesitated to sit on the sofa. Now then, go ahead, take a seat. A voice in a corner of her mind said, will I be taken prisoner the moment I sit down? But nothing happened, even when she sat on the sofa. That is to say, the comfortable sofa merely supported her body. What would you like to drink? I can offer you quality alcoholic beverages. Would you like to eat? Perhaps it is too early. I suppose it is. Then fruit or perhaps cake. Oh, you don't have to go to all that trouble. The abrupt change in the receptionist scared Henry just a little bit. She wasn't particularly cold toward Henry when she first arrived at the Guildhall. Henry thought the receptionist's reaction was utterly natural. She didn't feel like she endured any malice or derision. At least, the lady had been more normal than she was now. What caused this transformation? Is it because I am carrying the horn again? Now, don't be shy. You can have anything you like. We have snacks that go great with our drinks. No, really, I don't have much time, so shall we start talking? Right, just as you say. Let us get talking. The receptionist took out a thin piece of white paper. The only paper Henry had ever seen was thick with muddled colors. This paper she was just given had to be a luxury item. Does this mean she has no issues if I use it? Henry started talking. Earlier she kept it brief, but this time she went into so much detail she bored herself. A short time later, about when she was starting to get thirsty, her story reached its end. Thank you. I'll bring you something to drink, so please enjoy the refreshment before you go. You can leave the glass here. Thank you very much for everything today. The receptionist popped out of her chair and exited the room as if compelled. Really, what the heck is going on? There was no one around to answer Henry's murmur. In the end, Henry returned to Khan without staying over in Rantel. She had to spend the night in the meadow, but she wasn't worried. On the contrary, she slept quite well thanks to her friends guarding the wagon now packed with new cargo. Ah, you can finally see it. Khan's wall, came into view ahead of them.